Well, drama going on with Dutchsense and Patrioticspace. And you know what the good news is about that? All the leaders are falling apart exactly like these two leaders. you know, it's like you don't even have to worry about solving any problems. They're going to destroy themselves. We just have to let them destroy themselves just like these two are doing. And it's like, here's two good people, and what is going wrong here? And it's like neither one of them. The Patrioticspace uploaded a very long video with a very long conversation, and it's like you're both wrong. You're both wrong, and you both can win. But and you can win more than what you think you can win if you perceive that you won this argument. Um, but my 2 cents about all of that is, yeah, as soon as you start putting yourself out as a corporate structure, you are the enemy. So I can understand patriotic spaces like, first of all, he's really, really pissed off. So as soon as you're pissed off, you are going down the wrong path all the time. So there's not too much sense he's going to make, but you can kind of see where he's coming from and what is important to him. And because just because he's angry, he won't get what he's doing wrong, and he won't see the loving human being in his friend. He Dutch kept saying, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?" He was willing to give Patrioticspace what it is he wanted, but he was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm going to tell you what it is I want. What you did, that's bad, and there's no getting out of this." And it's like that's where he's going wrong. Is he ain't giving himself an out to heal that friendship at all. He's just so determined to be right and the only one that's going to be right. And it's like if you're going to solve a problem, you got to look at two people are going to be right. So Patrioticspace, you are wrong too. For not even being open to a conversation and trying to openly discuss it. It was there on your own phone. You even let it go that I didn't see you show any signs of trying to negotiate out of that argument. You wanted to be right at all cost. And for Dutch, I mean, having a friend get shot, excuse me, that guy's in fear and getting threats and everything. He ain't gonna think logically, anyways. And having his, everybody stare at him and smoking pot. Well, yeah, I can see why somebody may not want to be too open about that. But you know what, bud? Gotta be open about it. As soon as you want to be a leader, yeah, your personal life tells me who you are. And if you lied, then that tells me you're a liar. That tells me that all of your information, every single thing you're doing, is nothing but bullshit because of one lie. So I understand where Patrioticspace is going for. You're looking like a corporation. Trust fund, that's kind of like, you should have let people know about that. $20,000 donation when so many other people need it, and that is massive. It's like, you got to be upfront with that. Sorry, that's the times, and you should have put that out front. Keeping things secret means you got something to hide. And yeah, I value that. We're in that state right now that one lie, you're discredited. I don't believe shit of what you got to say if you tell one lie. And your personal life is very much going to be a reflection of what your professional life is, even though if you're not getting paid, it's not really a profession, but it is a profession. It's the new um, so many new careers need to be created. Everything that we need is new. So you got to do it free. Donations are the way to go. Well, I need donations. I ain't getting any. But I can't see stomaching asking for donations more than what it is that I need. Because if there is somebody that can even hand out $20,000, it's like, you know what? All I need is $500, and if you've got 20,000, help somebody else out. It's the greed where you want to suck somebody else's money dry. I mean, even this guy that's into astrometry, if I'm saying that, pronouncing that correctly, he's desperate for money. I'm not saying, like you could have shared that donation and say, hey, look, let's help this guy out too. Um, so I'm seeing both sides of this totally wrong. Like Dutch, like if somebody asks you if you smoke pot, it's like, yeah, that's a pill you're gonna have to swallow. If you're gonna be in the limelight like that, don't lie. You know, leave it on everybody else to judge, but at least lie. It's the truth that everybody wants, and it gives more credibility to you. And I will judge for myself whether I'm going to value somebody that smokes pot or not. And personally, um, the only people that have anything to do with pot that I would discredit them is the ones that lie about it. I mean, even my in-law smokes pot, and it's like, I think she's a hypocrite because, they judge themselves to be so much better, and yet look at their own life. So, but I'm not saying she's a bad person. It's just the bullshit lie of how they put themselves up higher than, you know, the people they judge. So I look at the credibility of somebody's personal life and how they conduct themselves on a professional life. It's like, Clinton lying and cheating on his own family. You think he ain't gonna lie and cheat on his own country? No, look what he did. Lied and cheat. So your personal life, how you conduct yourself is always going to be a reflection of you. So, at the end of the day, these guys will never ever find out their solution. They are at war. It's no different than every other war we've got. Every problem that we got, you'll never ever find the solution to it while these two parties are as pissed off as they are. They need to be loving. They need to feel what it feels like to be loving. Having a conversation when you're that pissed off, forget it. It's pointless. You're just escalating, and every decision you make is going to be, really, really bad. And this could have been done behind closed doors. And, if Patriotic Space won, like both of them would win, then we would have known. There would have been the disclosure, because that's what Dutch would have done, is give him what it is he needs. But it's two play. Both of them have to give. But when you're in that loving state, then you have to look at your enemy and see them as a loving human being as well. And I didn't see any of that going on. Words are cheap, but you can see when you're feeling somebody as a loving human being, you can see the words and how they back up their feelings towards the other person. I didn't see any compassion for, death threats. He must be scared. That would put you in fear. That will make you lose your mind. And having a friend shot, I mean, I'm sorry, but I probably would have reacted the same way that he did. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're both wrong. They're both destroying each other. And they're both losing credibility to their cause. And one of the biggest things that Patrioticspace is like, get your gun and go shoot somebody. Like, I wouldn't feel safe near you at all just because you can get that level of anger and you got a gun. I hate to see who else you'll probably misunderstand, because a lot of this shit is misunderstanding and they can't see that yet. But my wish is that maybe they can both be the example of how they can use a process to both feel love and peace within each other, hear each other's side, and give each other the gift of what it is they want. You both need an out of this, and if you both don't want to get out of this, then consider yourself in it deep, and you're just destroying yourself. So you do gotta admit you're wrong. Both of you were wrong. You're like little kids. It's like, go to your room and don't come out until you work it out. And I want to come out with some truth. And I trust, what Patriotics wants, that in a true negotiation, he will make Dutch tell the truth. We will hear at full disclosure. So I don't even have to worry about it. As long as Dutch is happy, or as Patrioticspace is happy, guess what? I know I'm going to be happy, because his standards are pretty high. If he got everything he wanted, I'd be fine with it. But same with Dutch. Dutch needs to give, or Patrioticspace has to give Dutch something that he wants too. And right now, I think he needs a loving friend and have a little bit more compassion. I think Patrioticspace, that you kind of want your name mentioned a little bit more. You do look a lot like you want the publicity. So you can't be saying you're about numbers when your actions and everything you did was about the numbers. You want it to be mentioned. You want to be part of the we instead of the I. And you should know a little bit about interviews and radios and TVs. First of all, you got no control over that. Somebody's editing you on the other side. They could say it's live,
Don't matter. They can take one or two words out and you won't even notice it. Not to mention how much control they have while you're in the conversation. That you may want to say something, but you won't even be able to have a chance. Trying to keep your brain on topic and remember everything you want to talk about while you're on a live interview. Sorry, that's a little bit too much to ask of anybody. I would have disappointed you. If you had that high expectations of how somebody's going to publicize you, you would be disappointed with me because I ain't that perfect, and you're expecting a hell of a lot of perfection out there, and there is just no forgiveness. It's a matter of, hey, this is what I didn't like in the past, and this is how we move forward. Can we please have these guidelines? Because this would make me happy, and both sides of this can win. When I start hearing they're going to take each other to court, it's like you're both guilty of criminal acts if you really want it. And then you're spending your life in a justice system where, you know what? No judge is going to be able to tell the truth about anything. Somebody's going to lose and lose big. And more than likely, it's the guy that's the more right that's going to be the one that's losing. That's the way the justice system works. The guy that's in the right always loses. The criminal always wins. We're having you taking a look at the economy. Bad guys always win in the justice system because it's designed for the bad guy. So you both are losing right now until you both decide to win. It's up to you, but I think you can set a really good example of what a peace table looks like, because we're all gonna do this to each other. We're all gonna go mad, 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 and that's what it looks like. So if you want to be an example, there are no mistakes, and this could be the biggest gift that happened to both of you, is just by proving what it looks like to have a peace table. Because if you can prove what it looks like to have a peace table, that's the most important thing that we need in our future. We don't need a gun. We don't need to be prepared. We need to know how to get along with each other. That is the biggest lesson. So you kind of needed to have this big blowout so you can show what it looks like for us all to learn how to get along. Otherwise, you're both a bunch of kids, you both know nothing, and you both need to go in your room until you decide to come out and play nice. Peace out.